Hello and welcome to the PropTech Hot Seat on iPropertyRadio with myself, Carol Tallon, the show where we explore trends and technologies driving innovation across the built environment. This show is brought to you in partnership with PropTech Ireland, the hub for innovators, investors and for industry leaders. In the PropTech Hot Seat today, we have Robin Riveton, CEO of Stonal. Robin, you're very welcome. I'm delighted to see you again. It's been a few years since we crossed paths previously, but I love to see familiar faces coming into the technology space, continuing to innovate. You're very welcome today.
Hi, Carol. Time flies, but super happy to be with you today and to be able to discuss my new venture, Stonal.
Fantastic. Well, look, tell us a little bit about Stonal.
Yeah, Stonal is a tech company founded in 2017 in Paris, and we are a data management platform empowering AI to automatically extract information from documents and from blueprints, store all this data in a data lake, so a very powerful database you can query very easily, and then use this data to have trajectory, have workflows on the portfolio for large asset managers, and these trajectories are compliance, CapEx, and ESG/carbon.
And obviously a lot has changed in terms of data management since 2017. So in terms of where the company was when it was founded and today in 2023, how is the industry managing data management?
Yes, the data management has changed a lot. And the data in the real estate industry has been not super well done for years. I mean, people use very outdated databases, and the ERP, the tool able to collect the rent, are very old-fashioned tools. The databases are very old. It's very difficult to query the information. The data is uploaded manually mainly, and there are a lot of errors in this data. And we have decided to create the contrary to this tool. So all the data, it's forbidden on our tool to entry data manually. So all the data derives from primary sources of information, either documents, either blueprints, and AI, machine learning, doesn't care, are able to extract automatically, the most automatically as possible, this information from these primary sources of information. Because the main point is that in the real estate industry, it's very difficult to compare 1 square feet to another square feet. It's very different to the manufacturing or the transportation, for instance. In this industry, you have like metric unit able to compare one product to another. In the real estate industry, it's very difficult. So there is a written culture. Everything is written. You want to rent a building, you want to build a building, you want to even make a monitoring inspection on site, you write things. And it's very difficult to address this massive amount of unstructured data. And when you have the ERP first generation tool, it doesn't matter that the data was accurate, because at the end, all what you need is collect rent. It was the most important thing. At the end of the month, you need to collect the rent. But now, with all the pressure we all know on ESG, on compliance, on fire safety, on accessibility for disabled persons, and so on, as an asset manager, you need to precisely know your building. It's not just a financial flow, just saying, okay, these buildings at the end of the month, I will collect like 10 million euros on this building. You need to have the accurate information on the building construction date, the exact square footage on the building, the fact you have windows, all these things. And it's what we try to do at Stonal. We are like the mirror of the ERP, but we hold the information about the assets, the real assets.
Very good. I think you've touched on a really important point there, and it's one of the criticisms of data management across real estate is that actually the quality of the output, the quality of the insights is based on the quality of the information and the data that goes in. And actually, we know over the past number of years that can be the quality of that data going in can really vary to being very poor in some instances. So actually, by not allowing people to manually put in data that you're actually only taking from those primary sources, is that improving the quality of insights coming out at the other end?
Totally, and it's super difficult in the tight job market we know in Ireland, in the UK, in France, or whatever. It's super difficult now to attract young graduates and just tell them your job will be to enter data manually in the system, because we haven't invested in the system which is automatically able to do that. So there is also this kind of talent retention and talent attraction issues for asset managers, because they target young graduates for uni or business schools. I think it's like something quite positive to bring such tools for boring and low added value tasks.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. We speak a lot, particularly now on the construction side, but for real estate as well. These are careers that are not as attractive to the next generation of talent as we would like them to be. So we do need to find ways, not just of making the industries more attractive, but actually of educating newcomers into the industry of what a career in real estate or construction or asset management actually looks like, because sometimes that is a career in data analytics, or it's a career in a whole range of emerging technologies. So I think maybe the industry itself doesn't do a good job of educating the next generation of talent on what a career, in a contemporary and modern career looks like. But actually, it's always interesting to me how people are attracted into this industry and how they get here. I mentioned at the start of the interview that I hadn't seen you in a long time, but actually your name will be well familiar to people within PropTech Ireland, because you wrote one of the very early books there, Make Real Estate Great Again. And it was one of the earliest, possibly one of the first PropTech books that was published. Was that maybe 2016, 2015?
Yeah, 2016, you're right.
A long time ago. So actually, when we had very little information, you published a book, I know, with Vincent, and you were putting out information when there wasn't a lot of information there. But PropTech Ireland was just getting started at that time. And what we know now is that the industry wasn't ready, and the industry was a little resistant and maybe didn't want to know about the benefits. Data was seen as almost a challenge to be managed, as opposed to an asset that could be leveraged. When did the shift in mindset happen in the industry?
I guess the industry is still super conservative. I had the opportunity to get a career in several industries, from infrastructure to transportation and even manufacturing. And the real estate industry is one of the most conservative. For me, the main explanation key is that there is a global unbalance between the demand and supply in our all great cities. And if you are an asset owner of good asset in like metropolitan areas, you know that at the end of the day you will make money on that. So you are not, there is no innovation premium as you can have in the telco industry or in the manufacturing, for instance, as the most innovative player will gain market share. It's not the case in the real estate industry, but things are changing, fortunately, and I guess. But the reason is not a change of mind within the sector is external pressure. External pressure from regulation, especially ESG, but also compliance, and as we have already discussed, the fact that these careers are less and less attractive for a young graduate in a very tight job market.
Tell me, who or what companies are Stonal's customers?
Our customers are large asset managers and asset owners, both in the private segment, real estate investment trust, listed, non-listed asset managers, and in the public sectors. It could be collective housing, social housing, and local authorities, especially for all the educational buildings they can manage. And the unique selling point for us is really to be able to automatize this data collection, especially on the documents side. And today, within this organization, they ask to junior asset manager or junior PM to deal with all these documents and put this document at the right place in the right folder and so on. But it's just a so boring task that few of them are do that properly. And when you at the end, when you need to sell your building, it's just the rush, and during several weeks or even several months, all the missing documents, and it's very painful because you don't know which document is missing, which document is redundant, and so on. With our tool, it's super easy because in a continuous way, we are able, it's just a drag and drop functionalities, features. You just need to put your document in the drag and drop zone, and then our algorithm is able to read the document, classify it, and tell if the document if the document is outdated. For instance, you have the tax receipt for 2022, but you miss the tax receipt for 2021. If the document is redundant, if you have two versions of the same document, if the document is missing, and it's so much easier just to say, okay, this document is missing, just try to collect it because this document is on your desktop. Just ask it to the property manager. If I give you the precise task to do, it's so much easier than just say, okay, create a data room because we need to sell this building in the bearish market.
Yeah, well, that's almost too big for most organizations to understand. And if it's too big for most organizations to understand, even if they know it's important, they will find reasons not to start. And that's sometimes the problem with best practice, that actually if the gap is too wide between where a company is today and where it knows it needs to be, that there can be a fear in getting started. So for your clients, how good would they be? How far along on the kind of the data management journey would they be? Are they already using certain tools?
You're totally right, because to use our tools, you need to be ready to accept that your previous or current data management system is just a mess. And at the beginning, when we first collect all the documents and create a kind of completeness report, just saying, we have a data quality index, and most of the buildings are between 20 and 30% completeness at the beginning. And it could be quite deceitful for an asset manager, especially at the C-level, just becoming aware that the data quality is so poorly managed within the organization. But as I said, data quality is a journey. Nobody is at 100% quality from day one, but when you are able to track and monitor your progress, it's really easy to make this progress. The problem with data quality up to now is that nobody has the automatic monitoring of the quality. So it's like, okay, I guess I do it properly, but I'm not really sure. And if I want to be sure, I need to spend hours and hours to double check what someone else has already done, or yes. And now with the AI or machine learning, because we are closer to machine learning than real AI in the pure data science language. But with our algorithm, it's, as I said, a journey, and you can go step by step just to improving. And okay, at the beginning, you need to collect the leases. So these leases are missing. Then you can move to technical documents, you can move to insurance certificate, energy performance certificate, and gradually you can improve the data quality performance of your building. And then you have like it's a reward feedback, because you know when you are improving the situation. In the past, nobody can monitor that, so it was like just, okay, we need to sell, rush it, and do it very quickly.
You've already identified earlier in our conversation how much things have changed in real estate and in the context of data management. And one of the ways we see that is that there are a large number of innovators and prop tech companies, whether it's startup or scaling stage, addressing these very problems now. So it's quite a crowded marketplace in terms of prop tech sectors or subsectors. It's a crowded space for innovators. So what is different about Stonal?
I would say that over the last years, a lot of companies have been created on data compilation. I mean, just trying to take several databases, fragmented, siloed one, and just trying to connect all of them in a single data lake. But very few of them have worked on data extraction and data quality. And our position and our baseline is deliver data quality at scale. Data quantity will not be the answer for the real estate industry. So the main point is maybe to have fewer data, but better data. The race to gigantism and big data in the real estate industry, for me, it's not the good way to see our industry. I mean, we need to build layer by layer, starting from the basis and the foundations, and we are just trying to catch up decades of no or low investment in data quality. When I look to the manufacturing industry, again, we are like decades lagging behind such sectors or such industry. So yes, before talking about AI or big data, we need to focus on a very small set of data, but be sure that these data are super accurate and that we can build some workflows on top of that. So I think that this Stonal position on data quality is a bit different than most of the market, but the market is crowded. But we are now trying. By the end of the year, we will reach 17 million euros threshold. So it's like quite a good threshold, a good revenues level. So all data quality offer, yes, seems to meet the market needs.
One of the conversations that I have with technology companies a lot is that it always comes down to delivering. And if you're delivering, because particularly construction, but real estate as well, and real estate management particularly, these are very low margin industries. So there isn't the margin for error. There isn't the great appetite for risk, that it's so important that a technology that requires investment, and that investment could be capital, but equally it could be the time and resources that a team has to spend in actually kind of embedding new technology across a portfolio. There has to be a saving, something. So whether it's a time or a cost or a carbon saving, there has to be savings achieved. And I think, it's interesting. I went to a presentation by the global company Turner and Townsend recently, and their representative spoke about the two currencies of construction now, that it's not just about cash. Carbon is a really important currency now. And I think time would probably be the third currency under the same basis when you're talking about a very low margin industry. So how do you make the business case? Because not all problems need to be solved. Not all problems are worth solving. So how do you make the business case for portfolio owners to invest in your technology?
The business case, maybe we are a bit counter cycle, and we surf a bit this bearish market I already mentioned, is that we are at the moment, most asset managers and property owners are looking to sell part of their portfolio. And it's a moment they became aware that liquidity is a problem. And liquidity starts with just the completeness of your documents, because if you want to have liquid assets, you need to be able to have no time between the moment you decide to sell and the moment you are ready to sell. And so, yes, this in this market currently we have a lot of traction on this aspect, because we are able to create this ready to sell data rooms super easily, and yes, it's something our customers or prospects are super happy with.
Very good. We don't have much time left, but I do want to return to something that you mentioned earlier in the interview, where you talked about maybe the differences between AI and machine learning, because I'm not sure that they're fully understood across real estate. And AI brings almost two competing narratives to the market. One is one of fear that it will replace so much of what we do, and the other is almost one of novelty that is ignoring the reality that we've actually had AI powering real estate technology for quite a number of years now. So you might just maybe explain to me, I suppose, the real difference, so that people can understand, but also why Stonal is more than just an AI company then.
Yeah, two issues with the AI narrative in the real estate industry. The first one is just to think that we can have an AI copilot able to make all your arbitrage, telling you when you need to sell, when you need to buy, when you need to refurbish. It's just impossible, because we don't have the data set to train the AI, because as the data has not been structured for years in this industry, it's just not possible to train an AI or a generative model to be able to mimic the asset management job. First one. The second one is about all the AI generated by a large language model or large transformer model like GPT 1, 2, 3, 4, and the competitors. You can easily give this LLM one document, and ask some question about that, and the answers you will have could seem to be good. And you say, okay, it's quite funny. It seems to be good, but it works for one document. When you need to have a question on like 500,000 documents, because it's the scale we work with large asset managers, you don't want to have a so-so answer. You need to have a precise answer. It's not like 0 it's 0 or 1. It's not like maybe the lease price is something. You need to have the accurate answer. So what we don't use LLM for this reason, because LLM are super eager to hallucinate and not to have the accurate answer. So we have specific algorithm we have developed ourselves, and this algorithm are able to find the right answer, not in one document at a time, but in hundreds of thousands of documents, and to extract the right answer you need, because you need to have the precise square footage of the lease with such tenant in such building in such city. And this is the two myths about AI in the real estate industry, and I hope we will be able to dissipate them, because there is a lot of noise, and some asset managers are like fearing to miss something. So there is like this kind of FOMO spirit currently, and I fear that some of them will be abused by some not super relevant solutions for managing a whole portfolio.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting take on. I think it's one that portfolio owners maybe who find themselves confused around the competing narratives and sometimes conflicting narratives. I think that will be a helpful kind of starting point there. Before we finish up today, Robin, obviously Stonal now has hit the UK real estate market, and hopefully Ireland in time by extension. What are your plans for the company over the next kind of 12 to 24 months?
So we have just set up a branch in London for 4 months ago. The start is super good. We have already signed our first clients. We expect to serve a lot of customers, not only the UK or Irish market from London. We expect to be able to address a lot of international markets from London, and in the next 12 to 18 months, we have a very aggressive M&A strategy. So we are currently looking at several companies beyond France, and I guess we will announce 2 or 3 of these deals in the next 12 months.
Very good. And Robin, just to return to your book, if you were writing this book in 2023, what would the title be?
People are still conservative.
That's do you know what? I won't make any comment on that. People are still conservative. The industry is changing. I'm seeing less enthusiasm or less optimism about the change in the industry.
I'm joking. You're right. The industry is changing, but the cycle are long, and there is a slowness inherent to the structure of the industry. But things are changing, and people are changing as well. Younger people more closer to innovation, and people want to translate what they live in their everyday life to what they do at their office. So there is like a penetration of the innovation in the private to the job and the research industry.
Very good. Well, look, I'm going to add to that it's never too late to start for, maybe some of the portfolio owners who have yet to really tackle some of these big challenges. And to be honest, there's very few of those now with the increasing burdens and regulations around ESG. Actually, that has just catapulted a lot of the data management and it has really increased the motivation of portfolio owners. So there's very few that are maybe haven't even started, but for those who are maybe getting more ambitious about the steps they need to take forward, then certainly I'd recommend they take a look at the Stonal offering, because there's a lot of interesting things going on there. Robin, thank you so much. It was great to catch up with you again.
Thank you, Carol.
I know it was a pleasure. It's always good. It's always good to kind of see that closed loop, where innovation is coming back around after a number of years. So that's all we've time for today. My thanks to Robin Riveton, CEO of Stonal. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe to the podcast and check out all of the other real estate and construction shows on iPropertyRadio. Before we go, just a special word of thanks to our sponsor, PropTech Ireland, the hub for innovators, investors, and for industry leaders. And also thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next episode of the PropTech Hot Seat here on iPropertyRadio.